DISTRONIC and DISTRONIC Plus, driving assistance systems with foresight. They regulate the distance to the driver in front and adapt the speed to the driving situation. However, in spite of the technical progress, there are limitations to the system. But first things first, what does the DISTRONIC consist of? Outside the car, only the cover is visible, which protects the radar sensor underneath. The sensor has an integrated control device which is responsible for controlling the long-range area. The DISTRONIC Plus, available for model types 221 and 216, has two other radar sensors. Together with the long-range sensor, these additional sensors improve the controlled area. The DISTRONIC Plus reacts at a distance of 20 centimeters, and in contrast to the DISTRONIC, works not only with flowing but also with stop-and-go and single-lane traffic. The control devices are installed in the trunk on the right. Due to country-specific regulations, these 24 GHz sensors are not available for every market. The DISTRONIC makes driving not only easier but safer. However, with all the advantages, system limitations remain. The following examples include DISTRONIC and DISTRONIC Plus. Switch on the DISTRONIC with the cruise control lever. Set the distance in the control wheel and observe the effect of the DISTRONIC. System limitation curves. The DISTRONIC meets its limitation with curves. The DISTRONIC orients itself to the radar and to the steering wheel position. That means as long as the steering wheel is not turned, vehicles in front are only partially recognized, as shown in the graphic. In addition to the DISTRONIC, the driver must always be ready to brake. System limitation barriers. For example, at a roundabout with a traffic sign, care is required, because the radar sensors register the sign as an obstacle, and the pre-safe and DISTRONIC give a collision warning. Only when the steering wheel is turned does the system register the curve. The driver can switch off the collision warning in the menu Assistance, Pre-Safe Brake. The DISTRONIC's function remains the same. Similar also is when vehicles are stopped at red lights. Although they are recognized by the radar sensors, the system does not brake automatically, but a warning tone is given. The driver is requested to brake actively. System limitation unexpected braking. A warning tone is given when the vehicle in front brakes suddenly. Because the DISTRONIC can only react with 30 to 40% capacity, the driver must also brake. System limitation cross-traffic. Also with cross-traffic, the close attention of the driver is required. Cross-traffic is perceived only in the radar cone when it's already in front of the vehicle. Attention therefore at intersections. The DISTRONIC can misinterpret the space between the cross-traffic as clear. The driver must be ready to brake. System limitation narrow vehicles. For instance, if a cyclist or motorcyclist moves in front of the vehicle, it is not perceived by the DISTRONIC. As the graphic makes clear, the vehicle only appears when in the sensor-controlled area. System limitation offset vehicles or vehicles cutting in. Caution on two-lane streets. The DISTRONIC orients itself here correctly to the vehicle in front and the distance is kept flawlessly. If a vehicle from the other lane cuts in, however, the radar is late in completely recognizing the vehicle. As you see in the graphic, there is not enough space. The situation is diffused when the driver brakes. The same goes for misaligned vehicles. The Distronic can only register the vehicles in the sensor area. System limitation: countersteer. On a sloping roadway, the driver is requested to countersteer. Because the Distronic orients itself to the steering position, the neighboring vehicle is measured, not the vehicle in front. As shown in the graphic, should the Distronic orient itself, however, to the neighboring vehicle on level streets, then a chassis alignment check should be done or a radar sensor adjustment. As well as the system limitations, there are other tips to the Distronic. The Distronic deactivates with strong snowfall or ice formation. Also switch off the Distronic when near a radio astronomy station because the Distronic uses the same frequency. As of 2007, this will take place automatically in vehicles with an integrated navigation system. Otherwise, simply turn off the Distronic. You'll find the radar sensors under Settings in the instrument cluster. And with that, we wish you a pleasant and safe journey.